so we're live again. We're gonna play through a little bit of the demo 2.0. Now this time just go a little bit wild. Just pick whatever you want to pick. And yeah, we'll see how it goes. Oh man.
Load into somewhere or just start from the start?
I'll just start. I mean, if you want to load somewhere, or we can start. I mean, the start is still the same, right? And we have a very scared Vellus who just got punted to Yonder World, and then she gets to talk a little bit. Well, we get to the beginning of how her journey started. Well, that one was fun. Yeet? No, it should be yeet. Or chicken wings.
No.
No.
You sort out your stuff and then you can name it chicken wings.
I named mine Brew.
Oh my.
Yeah, that's fun. Yeah, so we to be honest, when we actually started developing this this whole game, it's about 5 months ago when we actually officially start developing this game.
Yeah, somewhere around September. So yeah, about 5 to 6 months ago, thereabout.
Yeah. Well, fun fact, I have the idea for Yonder World, years and years ago, because, 3 of the characters that are in this game, I have had them for, almost 20 years now, including, that obviously include Death Hero, but the actual idea for Yonder World, it was supposed to be a book at first. And then it almost became a, not a visual novel, but, what's it called? It almost became a manga comic sort of deal. No. It was going to be a novel, and then it almost became a light novel, and then it almost became a manga. We had, I remember back then we had almost a whole chapter developed, but then it fell through because the person I was working with, we basically moved away. I moved to the US and she moved to the UK, and we kind of basically lost touch. And I continued to write bits and pieces about the Yonder after that, but then it fell through because of some personal issues. And then I think I revisited the idea of the Yonder, I think about 4 years ago. But obviously I was in the process of writing the last route at that point, so I didn't want to add more to my plate. And then, after working on Missing Time, I was I kind of want to keep doing, games and try to get more experience with it. So I work on this, really cute visual novel, called Heart and Soul with a different studio. It's going to be released the end of this month, and I believe it's going to be free. I don't know. The demo is out now. It's an automate game. It's really cute. Can be pretty dark, that kind of shit. But
am I not surprised with you working on it and you having a bit of dark in it?
Well, I mean, it is a Greek mythology, based on a Greek mythology that, most people have read and heard about. So, yeah.
Yeah.
So I left the link there. Shout out to the studio. The owner's very, very cute. So yeah, so I work on that. And then there was this thing with the was it the Spooktober Jam that I kind of want to get into. But then that once again fell through because once again personal issues, but I didn't want to get rid of that. And obviously me and Angie have been talking about doing a podcast. So the idea was to have because like we wanted to have like some sort of avatar and stuff, just to make things a little bit more interesting. So she came up with Vellus, and I decided to go with Desiree. And I was like, you know what, fuck it, let's do another visual novel. And this time we're just gonna put in everything that we kind of like, and put a little bit of, like, put in everything for anybody, right? So, yeah. And then Yonder World came to be. It certainly is a mix of everything. We try to put a little bit of everything in for anyone. You can, obviously, you can go the traditional visual novel romance and try to pursue any of the characters that you want. But there are also friendship routes for those who don't want to, romance anyone. Something for the aces out there. And you can still get a good ending. I mean, as good as I usually write. Anyway, with that. And that's, yeah, that's going to be Yonder World.
Yep.
And, yeah. And I think, we've really enjoyed this thing, so far. Evidently, like, the feedback we've gotten so far have been quite positive, so, yeah. I hope everyone will like it, by the time that it's fully released. We're going to have, like, a full roster of a total of 8 characters. And obviously we have had backers who will put in their own characters.
Yep, that'll be exciting. See what the backers come up with. I'm pretty sure I already saw a cat girl, which I predicted immediately.
Well, it's a cat that will be bingo card.
I mean, everyone, like, that's the thing, isn't it? Like, yeah, cat girls and animal girls are popular, so. But that's the thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing, that I drew from the experience working on Missing Time. So comparing to, like, the two projects together, Missing Time had a much quicker growth, especially on Kickstarter, because it's a Gal game. So, yeah, I mean, I spoke with a lot of the other devs, and that's what, we basically came to conclusion as, and don't mean to be crude, but sex absolutely sells.
It does.
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah. This one, there was supposed to be a meme, but then it became a real CG, and we just kind of rolled with it. Our artist absolutely had a blast doing this one. She was like, "Oh my god, this is so great." Because she was talking to me about wanting to do some weird poses. It was like, "Here you go. Have this one." And she's like, "That's good. We're gonna have some weird poses." I actually had to go into like a 3D modeling program and made the mock-up models for her, and she's like, yes. I know that is quite the experience. Yeah, but our artist has been absolutely amazing to work with. That's another thing that I was worried about when we got into Yonder World, because back in Missing Time, I remember that we had several drops out, and there were like several artists that actually 2 or 3 that made the sketches, but they never finished it. So we had to get somebody else to color it, or even redraw some of the details in there. So I was like, so going into this project, I was like, I have to find a solid artist for this. So what we end up doing is buying out like a whole 2 months worth of commission from our artists.
Yeah.
So that was great.
I mean, hey, she's gotten plenty of work out of us.
Yeah, I mean, she absolutely loves us. So but that really worked out. We did meet a scammer. We did run into a scammer. I almost lost a 500 quid to them. But yeah, they now got banned. Everything got resolved. So yeah, that's good. Yeah, so I mean, the whole process with creating Yonder World has been smoother than Missing Time overall, because I believe we've been we have more experience this time, obviously. Hey, Bandai. And also, we got obviously very lucky with the
There will be struggles.
There will be many struggles. So yeah, so we got absolutely lucky with our artists, and we were having more I have more experience. This is Angie's first time developing a visual novel.
Yep.
And it is the first time developing a visual novel for both of our coders as well. No, actually one coder and Yama basically does she basically wears a lot of hats actually as well, because she helps with some of the coding, she helps with the animation, she does the trailer, and she helps with some of the GUI as well. So it turns out so we basically, our team this time around has been 4 people, and each of us wear many hats.
I think you might got to cut out a bit.
Yeah. So yeah, but it overall it had been smoother than Missing Time, because we went in with more experience and we had a more solid team from start to finish. Well, not finished yet, but from the beginning, and hopefully we'll continue to the end. And we have the demo 2.0 going on, which is pretty good.
Which I've already read.
Have you played it actually?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I have.
Have you gotten all of the endings?
I believe there should be 2 in that now, isn't there? 2 additional ones to be more specific.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah, somehow managed to avoid the little vampire Google do get.
That's actually a little quirk about him, but we'll see. We'll see what happens with him later on in the chapters.
Yeah, I'm sure see more of him.
Yeah, there's gonna be more. There's gonna be more characters appearances as well. We initially wanted to. I initially wanted to have the Snake Boy appearance instead, but we wanted to do some adjustment with his sprite, so I end up not putting him in there. Yeah, so we still have a lot in development. Obviously, we're still chipping away. Hopefully, well, we're entering the last, like the second to last week before Kickstarter is over. So, hopefully we'll get to the goal.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Linking.
Smashing.
Yeah, linking. At time.
Advertisement.
Yes.
It's not sponsored because this is us.
Wait, nudge.
What else? So Angie, what's your experience so far with this whole thing? So I feel like I've been talking a lot, and I need some rum in my system.
I mean, it's definitely been an interesting experience. I'm used to teamwork. I'm used to creative projects, but like I did when I did the talk before for the VN Dev conference, working in a team setting on a creative project is definitely a very different experience. Sorry, I had to check if something's being caught on the mic. Words. I can English. Yeah, no, it's just been interesting trying to figure out that balance. The idea of being in a creative project and not having full control of it is definitely something that's a bit off to me, because even doing just like school projects when it came to creative things, I was always the one to take the lead in that. Because, you know, writer's gonna write, writer's gonna take over anything involving creating a storyline.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Cassius! It's my boy!
Woo.
Even though he wasn't the fan favorite to start, I've definitely gotten a lot of very interested comments on him since the demos come out, so he's finding his audience.
Yeah. I mean, I was talking to some of the devs actually, and yeah, obviously, like, people, because we have so many characters, so people kind of have like a mix reaction to that. Like, they're obviously like purist, and yeah, like, so like for the people who like gal games, they don't want to go into a game with a male love interest, while the people who like ultimate games don't like that there are female love interests and so on, you know. So it is a bit difficult to market the game.
Yeah, that's the problem of you can't make everyone happy all the time.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, this game is designed to be very open and welcoming. People have options. So if you don't want to romance or befriend the male character, there's females and vice versa. Finnan is technically non-binary. She would use she, they pronouns.
Yeah. Finnan is going to be a interesting character.
Yeah, there are options for no love interest. So
yes,
that's another thing included.
Yes. there's actually, like, yes, 8-ball. That is actually a thing that's included in here. We do have several. We actually have several no love interest ending in this game planned. Fuck, like with at least 8 routes, we're going to have like at least we're gonna have about like 16 endings. Holy fuck. Oh god, that's gonna be hard on me.
By the way, do we have like a flow chart for that prepared, or is that something we should start making? Just to
Yeah, we're definitely going to have to do that. That's another thing that we did in Missing Time. We had a flow chart for all the choices, all the points. But in Yonder World, we are going to have meters for all of them. Yeah, we were talking. Yeah, it's gonna make things a lot easier. Because once again, Missing Time is a it's like you basically have to guess. It's part of how the game was, but also because of the limitation that V&M, Visual Novel Maker, put us into. There was not a lot of customization that we could have done. But yeah, we're definitely going to have we're definitely going to have meters for Yonder World, just to help out everyone a little bit.
Hallelujah.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie, I think you'll give us probably a great Missing Time point to I think specifically Zizo's route was probably one of the more awkward ones.
Yeah. Because the thing is, Missing Time, it didn't fall into like the harem. Like, when I wrote it, I didn't want it to fall into the harem kind of thing. Basically everything that you did to anyone in the game, they are going to remember. So you can say that, well, this one obviously is going to follow the same thing. Everything that you did, they are going to remember. That you do in the game, they're going to remember. And each character is going to have their quirks as well. And while following the routes, you're going to have to pick up the quirks that those characters have. Some are going to be very in the moment. Some quirks are going to be like, all the time. So that's that could potentially help you out in getting a good ending. There are obviously clues just sprinkling everywhere. I think that's another thing with me. I do like to put little details in everything. So that is my own downfall. I am not likely going to change, and I probably will die with it.
Yeah, it's always good. Ah! Oops. You didn't see anything? I did not click the wrong button.
The screaming has started. Ooh, Rum with Tea is actually really good.
We're not even locked out yet.
So another thing that actually tomorrow the next character spotlight is going to go on to be on our Kickstarter page, and it's going to include my own original chicken recipes. Chicken wing recipe. It's delicious.
So you're saying I should click the chicken out option?
Yes.
No. No chicken.
Chicken! Oh man. So like, yeah, so the whole thing with Vel, like the whole thing with Vel being a chicken is quite accidental, to be honest. Yes, be honest.
Oh, really?
What perfect timing.
Exactly. It's because she has tiny wings and she couldn't fly. And she gets into a real clucking when she's against the wall. Clucking.
I love puns, but God almighty, that was bad.
I say, chat, you see what I put up with, but chat is mostly made up of people who enjoy this.
People love it. People absolutely love it. I think like from now on, like every character that every main character. Well, I mean, does Shizuzyo count as a main character? She might as well be. Well, one of the characters will always be associated with food, I suppose, in the games I make.
Yeah, Shizuzyo pancakes.
I mean, yes. Originally was going to be associated with food a bit more than he already is.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Was he?
He was originally gonna like have food on him all the time, and his sprite was gonna have him holding like a lollipop.
Oh yeah, I remember that bit. Yeah. Yeah, but then we decided to not go with it because it's a little bit awkward.
Good call.
This pose was better.
Yeah.
Good call.
And yeah, he was supposed to be a little bit more I think he was supposed to be a little bit more like flippant and friendlier, I guess. Just a little bit more disarming, but like the whole nature between demons and angels is a little it's more tempting.
Yeah, it's
just to have them
fun dynamic.
Yeah. So
you go up the romantic route here.
He well, more of his background is going to be revealed in the later chapters. Yeah, in the later chapters. And it's going to explain more as to why he has such a strong opinion of angels. Not just because he's a demon, but something more.
I'll be looking forward to it then.
Looking forward to see more of my boy. The good egg.
No, he is not good. You can't say that he is good with a straight face.
I never said that. I said it with a straight face.
Like, I think the only legally good character in this game is Udon.
Udon is he's a good boy.
He's a witch, more food.
Udon is the only character that is actually, like, legally good. Like, even Vellus, as she progress, and again, like, her progression does depend on the player's choices. She can stay, you know, as she is, or she can have, like, massive character growth, depending on how you choose. Yeah, so even Vellus can't be, like, you can't say that she's legally good. Because she can do horrible things, I don't know. Later on. So yeah, we don't like we definitely have a lot of morally grey characters in this game. Vellus definitely started out starts out good, but how she would end up depends on the player's choice. I think another thing that we choose to put in is to have the MC have a little bit more characteristic than, you know, just a blank canvas.
Yeah,
Make appreciate it. I get why some guys do the blank thing for a self-insert sort of thing, but sometimes a person, well, me anyway, I just would rather have, you know, some idea what the actual MC's into, or, you know, what they're about.
Yeah, I can appreciate the self-insert stuff too, but I always find it a bit more fun when there's something to work with. As long as there's still a variety of the options to choose. Because I think that's the problem I have when it's a personality MC, is when the options become very, like, rigid. so they're not really options anymore.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Like, I actually haven't played a lot of visual novels myself, but I actually tend to play, like, the cuter ones, because, I mean, the stuff that I play for real are... yeah. So, yeah, like, when it's a visual novel, I tend to gravitate towards, like, the cutest thing, like, the ones that don't make me think a lot. But yeah, and then, of course, when I write shit, it turns out like this.
Oh, the irony.
Let the darkness consume.
Yes.
I mean, chaos. What? Chaos is good. Yeah, so chaos. That's another thing with, yeah, that's another thing as well. Like, writing a script for a visual novel is much different than writing for, you know, regular stuff. And it's like, at first, when I first wrote for Missing Time, I started out, like, you know, like, I started, like, a script, like, for, like, a play sort of format. And I follow along the, original, plot that was, pitched to me. And then, like, I finished it, and I was like, yeah, I can't do this. This doesn't look good. So I basically rewrote the whole entire thing. That was why it took so long, to complete. Like, I think, like, for Missing Time, we took, like, almost 4 years to bring it to what it was. But that's another edge that Yonder World has over Missing Time in terms of scripting, because I have the idea for this for a long time, so I basically just need to sit down and write this. Unfortunately, though, Yonder World is a much more expensive project than Missing Time. The language of it is obviously a lot more polished than Missing Time, which like, the game setting is in, like, a more modern time with, you know, it's basically kind of slice of life. So it's not as formal as this, for one. And also, we are definitely keeping our artists for the long term, which obviously would cost more than hiring artists, like, just commissioning artists, like, for each small project, like the CGs or the sprites. So yeah, and we're actually going to have lines, voice lines acting as well. The whole thing is not going to be voice acted, but it's not going to be just, like, noises or reaction either. We are going to have, like, lines acted out.
Yeah,
so that's going to be
half and half, where some noises, some phrases here and there. I think for maybe key moments we were talking about doing proper lines.
So yeah, that's definitely going to be something. That's another thing as well. I don't know why. I don't know how, actually, but people have reached out to me via my personal Twitter and my personal email for, like, casting calls, even though we haven't even posted anything of that yet. It's like, how the fuck did you get here?
What the hell? That is both impressive and alarming.
So yeah, I have had I think I've had like 3 people DM me on Twitter and like I think like 4 emails in my personal emails. So I'm like, okay.
I am sure your pigeon will arrive soon.
Yeah, I mean, like so basically what happened is we are going to try to have voice acting in here, but we have to make our goal first to get that on the road. So like we obviously don't want to like reach out to people and say, hey, like we love your stuff, like come voice it when we haven't had the goal met yet.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
It'd be a bit
Going to
unprofessional to be
order.
like, hey, come do this job for us, and then in a couple weeks go, never mind, we don't have the money.
Yeah. So yeah, that's one thing. And it will obviously come out, but I also had somewhat like when I explained that to them, they're like, oh, you should be working with us anyway because we're a company that, you know, do the like a company that does all the casting call. I'm like, yeah, but I just explained to you that we're not going to do it until we hit the goal.
I'm sorry, but no money means no money. It doesn't matter how enthusiastic you are.
Yeah. So that was a bit.
But
I think people are excited for this project. Work aside, I have had people giving us quite good feedback. So that's encouraging to see, but at the same time, so something I kind of want to talk about is the whole thing with the Kickstarter, and it seems that social media is actually not that effective based on the chart. I will not go into details because this is all very private information, but so the thing is, obviously, Kickstarter, well, we obviously had direct traffic, which is our amazing community on Fluttering Abyss Discord that came and support us. But what I also found out is that our mailing list had been very, very effective, and that Kickstarter itself is actually pretty good for people to find our project. So I was actually very concerned when I see the numbers that our social media did or didn't bring in, despite us basically posting every day. So I realized that the amount of reposts and likes and such either came from people who already backed us or bots. And unfortunately these days, bots are so saturated that people don't actually follow them. Like, they would basically scroll past bots. So the interactions from bots and people who already follow us or already back didn't really do much, because the people that follow us, obviously that help with the interaction, but like the amount of engagement from bots really didn't count, because nobody really follow bots anymore. They see it and they just scroll past it because there's just so many posts that these bots just keep repeatedly reposting on Facebook, Twitter, and even I think Facebook doesn't have like that many bots for that thing, but Facebook is so saturated at this point. When you post it, nobody really sees it. And if you put money into it for promotion, it really is just a waste of time. because unless you put in like upward to $200 to $300 or pounds, it's not going to really work. Tumblr obviously dying.
Oh.
Yeah, Tumblr is dying. I think we got like we got some backings from like my personal Tumblr, but nothing from our yeah.
Reddit
so like
is also hard to post to sometimes. That's the other one we've been trying, but they're a lot of the places are very strict on what and how often you can post. So it's not quite as useful for advertisement.
Yeah, I think like Reddit has like a very strict rules because has set of very strict rules because they don't want the feed to be as saturated as Twitter, I guess. And I think another thing with Twitter is that it basically it doesn't have enough words. Like the word limit is so small that you can't really get your points across.
Even though they doubled it a few years ago, I like every time I go to post something on Twitter for the game, I'm just like, I need like another like 20 characters.
Yeah. And also the whole thing with the previews can be quite weird as well. So that's another problem that we had with Twitter.
There's a question in chat, by the way.
Sorry. Yeah. Our mailing list is upward to about like I think it was like 300 people. Yeah. So we did get quite a few backers from that. Yeah. And obviously, because of the previous project, Kickstarter also sent like a message to all who had backed us before to notify them about this one. So that helped a lot as well, I believe, because the amount that Kickstarter itself, like without doing any promotion, really actually helped. Another thing is, we actually got some backers from LinkedIn, which is quite surprising. But then again, like I had family who had a lot of connection on LinkedIn post that, so that actually worked out for us.
Yeah, LinkedIn was very unexpected because I've not done anything on LinkedIn for our posting on this.
Yeah, I don't have any LinkedIn either, but I had a family who posted it, and yeah, so that helped actually.
Wow.
Maybe I should try posting from my personal LinkedIn.
I have not touched LinkedIn in so long. Oh man. Yeah, but like Kickstarter actually came through for all of that. I think at this point we have almost 1,000 wishlist on Steam, but I don't think we got any backers from Steam itself. So yeah. So yes, while that is pretty good, the whole thing with Steam would count after the full game is released.
Yeah, going a little fuzzy.
Sorry?
Going a little fuzzy.
Fuzzy.
Around when? When I start talking about Steam?
Yeah, about then.
Yeah, of course, when I talk shit about Steam, it's gonna go fuzzy. So we had like almost like we have about like 800 wishlists on Steam now, which is amazing. And but unfortunately for Steam, like the wishlist doesn't really help until the game is released. So, for Kickstarter, wishlisting on Steam wouldn't be much of a help in terms of like boosting for backers, but it would count when the full game is released. What else? What else do we talk about, Anji? What else do we talk about?
I'm not sure. I have gone through a couple endings already, by the way.
Yeah. So the thing with, I think the premise of Yonder World is very intriguing to some people, because we do try to give everyone a little bit of something to choose from.